Salutations, everyone, and welcome to Tales of Aneria, the Shattered Realm, episode 74? 54. 74? I thought 74. Whew, hello, good evening. It is session 54, and we're very happy to have everyone here. Everybody feeling good? Everybody feeling happy? No issues at all? Okay, good. Wonderful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see these episodes earlier, join our Patreon. It's a wonderful little place. You get some extra bonus content there every now and then. I'm still working on videos. Stuff. Yep,
when you did videos. This, I heard like a keyboard in my hand.
I heard the chimes. You can now turn the page.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yes.
I forgot that books the audiobooks used to do that because you were supposed to read along with them.
Turn the page at the chime.
Yeah.
That takes me to elementary school.
It's
with
like
a cassette tape.
Yeah.
Clifford sat on the school bus.
You're not
turn the page.
A whole book.
If you're not reading along with
wonderful.
Like, if you're reading along with it, you'll know when to turn the page because you're reading along. It's literally so that kids turn the page at the appropriate time.
What you're forgetting is back then, all books had the words, "You may now turn the page" at the bottom.
Oh, right.
And so it was just
Chime
the audiobook. Yeah, it was just the audiobook. The narrator was just reading those.
Can't believe I forgot.
They went and
the best
reprinted
part
them
of the
all.
90s.
You can't find them anymore.
Yeah.
Teddy Rex.
We're going to gaslight an entire generation.
Aside from corduroys.
Yes, aside from corduroys.
It's second only to corduroys.
Yes, yep. But welcome, everybody. Don't forget to like Syrinscape, too. That was glass shattering. Why? We'll find out. It's almost like somebody got defenestrated.
Hoisted by their own petard. But not really.
But we love Syrinscape for providing us wonderful sounds. And if you can't tell, I'm very eager to get back into things and not at all doing this in the proper way. But that's okay. We'll begin tonight's episode not with a recap, because you can go see what happened last time, especially the last 10, 15 minutes or so. You definitely want to see that because
Start off with a flat cap.
Yeah, it's what we're going to start off tonight with.
Give us your best Wilhelm scream.
Save that for the screen compilation. We're actually going to begin tonight at the ground level of the Wayward Watchtower. Specifically inside in the lounge. You heathens, we're not there yet. Bolt, Fred, you are in the lounge area with Madame Talvain, who has dropped Kid off after his day of testing.
A kid or the kid?
The kid.
Just a random kid.
Yeah, just a random kid.
Hey, you know
this
what?
one's yours, right?
Since you're getting rid of one kid, would you like a replacement one?
Yeah.
It's like a rental.
How do you feel about adoption?
Yeah.
Are you good?
And then you hear a gnome say, "I'm not available for adoption."
And I'll be like, "I'll be at your cloak store tomorrow evening."
Every freaking time. But Madame Talvain is there. You've sent Kid off to kind of a guest room to relax a little bit. He seems to be very much exhausted after a day of what is probably hard magical testing, whatever that entails. And has
he gotten over his sickness stuff?
Yeah, he's definitely over
acclimated.
Yeah.
To it?
Mm-hmm. And she's taking just kind of a light sip of a tea that the hands have brought her, glancing around at this amazing tower as usual. She says,
"Oh, this old thing."
Kilofin Benerbis is quite the interesting young man, actually.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid he doesn't show too much magical talent in the traditional sense. He is very good at activating magical items. He seems to have a knack for that. But he doesn't have much in the way of crafting his own spells, I'm afraid.
Right.
So
It probably has something to do with his upbringing, being outside of an area with no magical infusion. He was forced to rely on magical items far more, from what I can tell from Arconus. That seems to be the case.
But he does have a knack for those.
Oh yes, absolutely. He can pick up any of the magic items and attune to them far quicker than I could ever.
And how many attunement slots would you say he has?
Oh, at least 5, I would assume.
Really?
Yes, he's. It's quite interesting. He's trading magical talent for attunement. It's a weird little trade-off.
Well,
Do you have any
perhaps
talents? Nope, just attunements.
perhaps we could find some items that could not replace, but maybe mimic some.
Like a mimic? No.
Oh. I look at my the hand that's been replaced with.
And it kind of like shimmers a little bit, like.
No. Maybe find another one.
I would also break this news to him gently. It seems like he has his heart set on being magical in some way.
Probably my fault.
It typically is the parents.
Oh, I'm not his parent.
Right, of course. You're his cool aunt, according
Yes.
to what you said earlier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did he?
Cool and eccentric.
Did he say anything about that? Like, how did he refer to me? Just curious.
We didn't actually talk about you at all.
Fred's like, I'm going upstairs.
Oh, wait. I think I just realized I'm a narcissist. Couldn't be. Not me.
I'm too great to be
You
a
also are
narcissist.
gaslighting yourself, apparently.
What do you think, Eyes? You're right, Eyes.
You
Definitely
lovely
not.
little things. My babies.
Oh,
Excuse me.
Sorry, this must have been something I ate.
Stops, Jimmy.
you're eating too much.
Good answer.
Okay, when the electronic sounds come out, that means too much food.
I'll write it down.
It went from stomach aches to to electronic noises.
to theremin noises.
As to the other matter that we discussed, would there be a time tomorrow that I could swing by your ship and come see your brother?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Where is our ship? Did we get clearance?
I'm working on that. I'm hoping to have the ship being able to dock here at the tower. I don't know if you've noticed there's a sort of barrier around the whole thing that when you walk through it, your perception of depth kind of changes. And the tower seems like there's a lot more space and room than you notice from outside the barrier.
Yes.
I'm hoping that I can bring the ship in and
Scott doing everything he can not to say it's bigger on the inside.
I was just going to say, there's so many...
no, hold on. It's
Penis
bigger on the
jokes.
outside because
To
the
be
outside is the
True,
big
yeah.
part.
It's it's in a pocket dimension, I would
It's
assume.
a Sid rat.
It's in a very accessible pocket dimension, but it is a pocket dimension.
Apparently, I never noticed until yesterday.
Have you spent a lot of time around here?
No, unfortunately, we have not spent
That
too
might
much.
explain it a bit. Anyway, I will be down to the ship, to the docks then.
Yes, I will let Xander know
Excellent.
to expect you.
If anything changes with the ship and location, I will update you both.
And did I pay you?
Cory, the DM cannot remember, so we're going to say yes. Because it was only like 50 gold. So if you marked it off on your character sheet, fine. But I'm not.
I
gonna
wish we
much
could
about
go
it.
in and see a history.
A history.
of-
That'd be really
That'd be
nice.
fantastic.
Madame Talvain looks like she wants to go on, but you're interrupted by the pulse of magic that emanates from the teleportation circle room, which is interesting because, only people that are allowed to use it can use it.
Excuse me, I have to take this.
Yeah. So you stand up and you're just about out of the lounge when a figure appears in the doorway of the magic circle room. It's she looks road worn and disheveled, but Lyra looks determined as she says, "Where's Victor?"
Upstairs with you,
What?
Oh no.
doppelganger.
Okay. As you all start rushing
can we
upstairs.
start racing upstairs?
Yep. We are going to.
Can I
skip
help
on
a
over.
teleportation to my to my workshop? Use up a slot?
If you feel it's that threatening.
Yeah, after what fake Ezra and fake Eve did.
Thief.
Yeah, I will.
Thief and Fezra. Thief, Fifo, Fezra.
Yeah, I'll teleport up there.
Okay, are you taking everybody with you, or is it just you?
I will run up, and I'll put my hand on both Lyra and Fred's shoulder.
Okay. As you disappear, you travel up the tower, through your lounge, out the window, and back down the tower to the ground where Victor is laying. Preston, I've thought long and hard about this, and I've decided...
Start twitching.
I've decided that tonight we are going to let the dice decide what happens. At this point, you've hit the ground. You are at 0 HP, and you are making death saving throws.
Okay.
They will be a straight death saving throws when I tell you to. No, you can't add any bonuses to it. Can't do it. It's just 10 or above or 10 or below. Okay? No epic die or anything. And we've discussed this beforehand, so anybody at home thinking I'm being unfair, I don't know what that symbol was, but it felt rude.
It's the Mockingjay symbol.
Yeah.
I just felt like you were giving them a little precious kiss.
Yeah, sure. Why? Sure, why not?
You're like, still love you.
So,
Calm yourself.
Buongiorno.
Victor, you're laying on the ground, unable to move for multiple reasons. You've been paralyzed, and you're pretty sure that you're dying.
You didn't land in the poisoned rose bushes, did you?
Nope, just straight on the ground.
Okay, good.
You've never been conscious for the dying part before. Mm-hmm. That's pretty new. Though the reason for why becomes readily apparent as a familiar old woman appears next to you, setting herself on a cane and saying, "You know, Victor, I'm a bit disappointed. I had expected more from you before you became mine. Would you make your first death saving throw at this point, please?"
15.
Okay, that is one success. Put a little graphic up on the screen. More figures begin to appear. A panther with the deepest of black coats slinks out from around the nearby bushes, joined soon by a snowy owl perching on a nearby branch and a giant python slithering up from some former rodent's mound.
Oh, is this the
Baba
Trio.
The trio?
Baba gives them a curt nod, but all attention is pulled away as more begin to arrive. A ghostly human woman Victor has never seen before steps from the wall of the tower, her ethereal form draped in simple robes. A royal of darkness forms before 3 cloaked figures step out, a soft funeral hymn emanating from their forms and the shadows behind them. A second shadow forms on the other side, though the figure inside stays hidden except for a too wide grin of white teeth. And then, as if to contrast the darkness, a roaring golden flame springs into existence, equidistant from them, a thunderclap announcing the arrival of a god. The tense moment of powerful arrivals is then undercut as a tiefling comes whistling down the garden path, a lute strung over his back and his hands in his pockets as if it were just another casual stroll. He gives everyone a wave before miming the locking of lips and tossing away the key and settling against the stones of the tower. Would you give me a second?
Let's hope this goes better than the other two that I was preemptively rolling.
Oh, goodness gracious.
You were practicing?
I was practicing. And
No practice rolls.
I'm glad you got those out of the way.
They're both ones.
4. That is one failure.
Now, the woman from the tower, is that Tuscadia?
Interesting. Could be.
And are
Could be.
the figures, the hooded figures of the hymn, is that the choir of the crags?
Very clever. It looks like you've drawn quite the crowd, Victor. Baba smirks at you. I expected some of these, but you sure have drawn a lot of attention from powerful beings in your life, haven't you? You can speak.
I want to be like the Balthrout that's hovering.
I don't know what to say. And I assume that, when I'm talking to them, am I like... Like, how would he be...
Or are you having like an out-of-body...
Or am I like, is my spirit just kind of like... What's up, guys?
Your spirit's not out of your body yet.
Not yet, okay.
So you don't feel like you're awkwardly placed. Depending on what your actual body looks like, it feels pretty natural for you to be laying.
So it's not like in pain. It's just, it would be like numb. I can't move myself.
Yeah,
I'm just
you can
numb.
look around and see everybody, but it doesn't feel like your head is moving.
Some
more familiar than others. And what are you doing here?
Oh, we're all here to see what happens to you, of course. This is a big moment.
What do you? And I would assume at this point he's still like. How do I say that? He would have a staunch disbelief that Lyra would betray him.
Mm-hmm.
So like until he makes that connection, he will like refuse to accept that was a thing, right?
Okay.
Or that it happened.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me another death saving throw, please.
3.
That is 2 failures and 1 success.
Oh, Vicky.
There's various groans and like people leaning in a little bit further as you kind of feel yourself slip a little bit more. Bobby says, it's been a fine road, Victor, but it seems like you trusted the wrong person.
What do you mean? The people closest to me, they've always... never would betray me.
Of course they wouldn't. That didn't mean that you didn't trust the right person, though.
And so, he would just kind of like trying to understand it, but again, he's just mentally, he's like, I must have just slipped. Like,
yeah,
surely this is Lyra wouldn't be at fault for this.
Go ahead and give me potentially your final death saving throw, please.
That's 2.
Okay.
Got worse and worse.
Was it 532?
I need someone to bless these, like, get rid of the juju.
You feel your spirit finally rise from your body, floating up into the air. The Baba Yaga grins triumphantly, and several others kind of give disappointed shakes of their heads. Not at you, but just at the situation in general. And she watches as you raise several feet. All eyes, in fact, are on you expectantly, ready to watch you ascend to your mistress's service. Then something happens that surprises everyone present. A rift opens up over Victor's head, sickly green and jagged in appearance. Looking up, you see dozens of smoky tendrils of the same putrid color racing out and surrounding you, snagging limb and joint firmly before tugging you up towards the portal. Beyond it, you see a single purple crystal, similar in facet to trap crystals, gleaming and waiting. The Baba Yaga shrieks and raises her cane, pointing it at the portal and crying out, "No! He is mine!" before launching a powerful spell at the portal to disrupt it. Only the spell never arrives. A pair of multicolored eyes blaze over the portal, and a whirl of chaotic energy deflects the blast, transforming it into a twisted vulture with 1 head. So basically, the neck comes out into 3, and then comes back to 1 head again.
So there's 3 necks?
Yep. It has blue feathers, and it lets out a squawk in sudden surprise before fluttering away. Before anyone can try anything else, your body is pulled through the portal and snaps shut.
I don't consent to this.
The last sound you hear is the indignant scream of the old crone. Okay, we are going to actually skip across town at this point to the Bilge Pump Tavern, specifically to the room of a...
I can't skip.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Both legs are broken.
Specifically to the room of a gnome woman with wild red hair sleeping in her bed. Her arms and legs cling tightly to an elegantly shaped corked bottle, the warmth radiating from it, foregoing the need for blankets or even the bulk of her clothing. It's a perfect night's rest until the shrieking begins. Maggie, you are awoken by... and forgive me for throwing you into a different character here really quickly.
I haven't been Maggie in a while.
You are awoken by such a forceful command from your patron that you have never felt before. Words scream into your head, a limerick repeating over and over and begging to be written down. So what does Maggie do in this situation?
My aching head. Okay. What is it?
And again, the limerick just repeats and repeats and repeats as you tumble out of bed, knocking the bottle probably over. It doesn't shatter or anything because it's magically
Got to
enchanted.
stop drinking so much.
And you
Or more, depending on what happens.
and you start writing down the limerick word by word.
I'm ready for it.
Yep. You miss half the words one time and you have to write them down again.
Keep it down. I'm trying to sleep in here.
Are you out? You're outside. Who's outside on the ledge?
Scratching at the window.
Yeah.
I'm trying to... Wait, never mind. I'm nocturnal. Never mind. Continue.
I'm trying to converse with my patron.
As soon as the words are inked into parchment, the screaming and pain in your head fades to a dull ache once again. With it are instructions. Head to the Wayward Watchtower, read them the telegram, and then provide additional instructions.
Wait a second, am I a singing telegram?
And before any sort of patron can answer you, we are going to skip back over to the party in general.
The answer is yes.
Kind of, yes. In fact, I'm going to send you, I don't know if you'll be able to actually make this into a song, but I'll send you the
We're
limerick.
making it into a song.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Is it a what? Give her the motif. Is it a dirge? Is it a?
It's definitely like limerick, full on limerick.
Full limerick.
Yeah, there once was a lady from Nantucket.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, but there's no swear words. That's okay. I'll try to throw in there.
Don't worry, I'll take creative liberties. Your mightiness.
I have some notes.
Let's see.
Just a few.
Quicker could be swapped out for...
So, the party pops into the library to find it empty. The doors separating the two areas are open, and the remains of a picnic, an overturned basket, and a spilled glass of wine are left. But there is no sign of Victor or the false Lyra.
I'll go over and...
So his body's not even there.
It's not at the top of the tower. No.
Oh, I see.
It's at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, we teleported from the bottom up to the top.
Started from the bottom, now you're here.
Oh, yeah.
From
I'm
the
sorry. I
bottom
thought you said
to
we
the
went back
top.
to the bottom.
That's never mind.
Yeah, I'll go over and
Please don't.
see if I can determine where
Of all
Victor
the
is.
songs. No, it's stuck in my head.
Well, he's got no restraints anymore.
Victor's dead.
There's no...
He's a ghost. He can haunt us with everything.
I was going to say, like, Preston has... I can't threaten him with anything anymore. I have no control. As you run over to the edge bolt, you see Victor's body, indeed, on the ground. There's nobody
I thought
around
the body
him.
was gone. I thought the thing took it up in.
No, it took his spirit.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I thought it took his body.
Spirit crystal.
But yeah, you see him. There's nobody surrounding him, contrary to what he was seeing when he was dying. It appears that his body is just on the ground.
Victor's... looks like he's fallen. We need to get down there.
Lyra
I'm going to take off running.
runs to the edge, and then she's just going to leap off.
How far off of the ground are we?
Oh, the tower is like between 100 and 500 feet, depending on the day. I'm not going to give you the exact amount because it's long enough to drop Victor to 0 HP, but I didn't want to calculate it.
What is it? It's a D6 per 10 feet, right?
Yes, that's why I didn't want to calculate
And
it.
how much HP do you have max?
This is the third time I'm going to say that I do not want to calculate that.
That's why I'm doing it.
No, we'll just move on. You have a ring of Featherfall, sir, don't you?
No.
Oh, you don't? Oh, I thought...
I will
why-
use
that's why I'm
a
running down.
bonus action
He's like,
to do
I was
a
about to
side-powered
defenestrate
leap.
you.
Okay.
And good thing he knows that has the different ring.
Fred leaps on down, lands. Lyra floats down next to you and lands. She does hold up her one of her hands, and you see that there is a magical ring on it. But she runs over to Victor's body and starts like checking it, and she just kind of like falls backwards on the bench. She goes, "He's gone."
That can't possibly be right, because you're getting married. He can't die. He can't die.
He's gone, Fred.
No, he's not. Fred will go over and like slap his face a couple times.
Yeah, definitely. You get a couple slaps in there.
Some of his
He's
teeth
pale
are-
and cold.
Never mind.
Tell me when I can get about.
You can get there
I'm
now.
getting more of it.
Yep.
I use humor as a self-defense mechanism.
Fred,
I did.
Lyra, out of the way. I'm going to try something.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to cast Revivify.
Okay. You plant your hands on Victor's chest. You've seen this happen before in the past with like
Go clear.
yeah. And the light pulses through the body, but nothing happens.
Several more of his teeth fall out.
It's
Just
just a
hitting
bad
the ground
dream.
face first.
Ew.
It's a face first.
Sorry.
I mean, I don't know if you want him. He's hideous now.
That should have worked. I don't know.
But didn't he used to wear a blindfold?
Try
I mean,
again.
you could put it back on. You wouldn't have to look at him.
Will I have taken a long rest between the fight and now?
No, there wouldn't have been that much time.
Then that was my last 3rd level slot. I do not have. I can try, but there's no magic.
She
left.
screams at you, "Try again!"
I'm sorry, Lyra. I can't.
A dozen kunai come out and start like swarming in the air, and she goes, "Find somebody who can."
Madame Talvain,
Madame Telvin, she's right in here. Surely she can.
go get her. And I won't pick up Victor. I think I know enough about medicine stuff that it's like probably shouldn't
Move the body.
move a body just in case. Yeah.
The soul's not tethered to this location like Dungeon Meshy, so I think you're okay there.
Okay. Yeah. In that case, I would.
Yeah.
I would bring Victor inside and put him on.
Lyra's knives go back into wherever they were hiding, and she kind of mumbles an apology, but she still looks determined. Madame Talvain's just kind of like sipping on her tea, still not really sure what happened.
He's dead. You have to fix him because
Yeah. At this point, I'm like, open the
Into
door.
the
and I-
lounge.
Come and sit, Victor down.
Oh no!
Can you help us? I tried to revive him.
No, I'm a
magic.
I'm a mage. I can't cast any divine magics like that.
who can? Where do I go to find them?
There might be somebody down at one of the churches or the
I'll go find them. Fred will just leave.
Lyra also says that she's going to go search for somebody. She said, if you know any clerics at all, maybe they can assist. I can do this. And she actually puts her hand on the body, and there's kind of like a little, like, it almost looks like, inappropriate to say, but it almost looks like cellophane, like magical cellophane surrounds the body for a moment before fading away. That should keep it from decaying further.
You're Snow White. We just put you in like a little glass.
This is my
Except for-
first edition,
I'm not-
Victor. Don't open it. It'll lose all the
It'll
value.
lose all the value as soon as you... Yeah, vacuum sealed. Yeah.
He gets put in a blister
We
pack.
should not be joking this much. This is a serious time.
Sorry.
I know. It's hard.
If you're here for drama, sorry.
Here,
Yeah.
I'll give you drama.
Victor's gonna brood.
Preston will be playing the part of a corpse tonight. Wonderful.
No, I don't want to.
Fred goes wandering through the streets. Probably, you don't really know where any churches are.
She has no idea.
So you're just like shouting for a priest.
Priest! Holy man or woman, I do not discriminate. I should let you know because I am a woman of power myself.
A man does step out from a nearby building. He is wearing a kind of white robe, and he's actually wearing the holy symbol for the Brotherhood of Davros. Or the Children of Davros is what they're called.
I'll take anyone's help except for yours.
Well,
What's wrong? What's happening?
could you direct me to another holy person who could help me?
What is the issue? And maybe I could.
I have a dead friend. Recently deceased.
I can assist. I can revive.
But you are...
I'm sorry. Who exactly are you? Never mind. Patience.
Stick to your teaching.
Patience in all things. I'll let you know. Most people are not very patient after they've spent some time with me. I hate to say it.
I'd be willing to help.
What do you charge? It doesn't matter. It does matter, actually, because I don't want you to...
Your friend is dead. There's only a
follow
limited
me.
amount of time. Okay. It's Preston.
You look so emo right now.
This definitely isn't as serious as you think it is. So he follows behind you, kind of shuffling along. Lyra actually comes back around the same time with Leah Horaneth, because she is actually a cleric. Yeah.
Honestly, though, you might be able to help me twofold, because I have been looking for the children of Davros. I've been told to search them out.
Are you seeking recruitment? Let's deal with your friend first, and then we can deal with everything
Good idea. We'll talk army later.
So by the time you get back, Lyra's already back with Leah, and she's tried, but she just says that it doesn't feel like there's any soul willing to come back to the body.
I couldn't make a connection with them at all.
Both.
Perhaps...
Please, if you can. Please help him.
And he sits down and he starts like mumbling. You can feel like the room get brighter. Like it doesn't feel like the fire is getting brighter. It just feels like light is coming from everywhere. Leah kind of like steps back and kind of turns her attention away. She's definitely not of the same like persuasion as, I mean, she's a lawyer, so how good can she be? And after a like kind of this blinding flash, the priest opens his eyes and he goes, I'm sorry. There is no soul to pull. No willing soul.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Where are you heading?
To the nearest bathroom.
Okay. Excellent.
And she will just shut the door.
Mm-hmm.
Turn off lights. I don't know how this works, honestly, but Zeph, are you there?
The mirror cracks and into a kind of this wider, like, smile over your mouth. And then you just hear a voice saying, "You're looking for something specific."
I lost Victor's soul.
Do you think I have it? Now I do.
Maybe not. Probably not. Hopefully not. But if you do, I'll do anything to get it back. And if you might have some information, being somewhat all-knowing.
As much as I love this desperation, I'm afraid I'm going to have to decline.
Do you know what happened to him?
Yes.
Tell me.
No.
Please.
No. Do not ask again. And the mirror seals back up rather than like shattering as it usually does. And then the lights come on. Like you specifically like unlit all of the candles and they all flick back on.
As equivalent
Go storming out of the
of him
bathroom.
slamming the door in your face as a deity.
Good image. I love that. The mirror, like,
Yeah.
make you have a crooked.
I love playing Zeph, actually. It's really fun. Thank you for the character. Lyra is quietly just like holding Victor's hand as you come back into the lounge. Leah and the other priest are conversing a little bit, but both of them don't seem very sure about anything at this point. Madame Talvain is she's kind of off in the corner, but her eyes like indicate that she's like searching elsewhere, trying to see if there's like, maybe she's like scrying around or something like that. It's kind of hard to tell.
I'll go up to Lyra. Lyra, I know this is hard, but perhaps you have some information about what happened.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
I just got here. I've been getting cryptic messages for weeks now, and finally I get...
From who?
From Victor. And finally I get word that he's coming to Salsport, and I wanted to meet him here. I got caught up with a contract, and when I get here, apparently I was already here. I think you have more information than I do at this point.
I'll tell her about when we arrived, our friends Ezra and Eve were here. We found out that they were actually doppelgangers. They were not themselves.
What?
We ended up fighting them up in the library, and once we subdued them, we kind of interrogated one of them and found out, and I'll tell her about the information for I just drew a blank. They basically told us what they were doing. How
they were searching for the sword. And when you do mention the weaponry, she starts like looking over Victor's body, and she starts like pulling each knife out delicately and placing it on.
I'm like about to
left you a clue.
I'm like about to say something because I know like Victor doesn't want his knives done.
Yeah. If you do try to like, even then, like Lyra will give you a glare of her amber eyes that kind of makes you realize where she got the name from. They definitely do look fearsome
When they're angry.
Yeah. And she pulls out all of the knives that Victor has on his person, and she goes, "It's missing.
Probably couldn't use it.
All except one.
Okay.
What is missing?
Shadow Song. It's gone."
Would I be able to know this being around Victor long enough? If I take a moment.
Yeah. You definitely know what Shadow Song is.
Yes. That's odd.
You got to listen to him sing them all to sleep
What is
every
this
night.
one though? This new one here.
I'm not sure. I've never seen that one
That was the
before.
spoons.
I assumed that he just picked up another knife.
May I?
And she takes it and she kind of like looks it over first, and then bows and hands it over to you.
I'm going to cast Identify on it.
Okay. This is a +1 dagger.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty like mundane. It does cold damage instead of regular damage, so it's kind of like a chilled dagger, but it doesn't like have any other special abilities on it. It seems very. I should say that the one thing that you do notice about it is. Oh yeah, that would be a good shout actually. Good thinking, me. Okay, this magic isn't.
I'll give you a high five after I hear.
Okay, this magic isn't necessarily arcane in nature. You start peeling into it a little bit, and you feel like a necromantic.
Yeah, because Identify tells me what school it's from.
And
sure.
you feel that there's actually a soul attached to this dagger, or a piece of a soul.
At first glance, it looks like.
Yeah, that was good.
At first glance, it looks like this is just your ordinary frost enchanted dagger, but there's something deeper inside of it. There's some a piece of a soul, it feels like. And I'll actually look at the priest, the Davros priest. What was your name?
Dang it, I never thought of his name. Jordan's.
Kenneth.
Father Jordan's.
Meowth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Father Meowth Jordan's.
Yeah. Okay.
You're welcome.
Seeing as how out of everyone here, you're probably more in touch with the afterlife than the rest of us.
That's right.
That was a little quick. Would you mind trying to figure out what is going on with this dagger?
Of course.
I'll hand it over to him.
Yeah. And he'll sit down and he'll start like identifying it himself. It takes about 10 minutes. Meanwhile, Lyra is like...
Take your time. Take your 10-minute ritual time rather than just use your first level spell slot. Come on.
Yeah. He just performed a raise dead for you for free. No. In the meantime, Lyra is like wrapping each of the individual daggers in... She's actually taking a dagger and she's stripping off a piece of like mundane cloth that Victor wears, and then wrapping
not
the
his
dagger
coat of
in
many
that
pocket.
cloth. Not the she accidentally rips off the door patch. No.
And then a door pops out.
Yeah. But yeah, she takes all the daggers and she wraps them in strips of Victor's own mundane clothing, And then she actually reaches up and she takes the bandana around his head and pulls it down to be its typical eye covering that it was when you first met him.
It's a great idea. His face was so broken apart. We didn't want to look at him anymore anyway.
Honestly, I'm not sure how she would react to that. So we'll move on. The Father Jordans opens his eyes and says,
Michael Jordan.
No, Meowth Jordans.
Sorry.
We already
Michael?
established.
MJ.
Yeah.
Meowth.
Yeah.
Michael Meowth Jordan.
Michael Meowth Jordan. He opens his eyes and he says, well, I can't say that I've never seen this before. This is an item from the Eternal Empires. They don't have ley lines like we do, and so the cruel masters there harvest souls and use them for magical power.
I actually know all about harvesting souls.
Oh, that is a good idea. Perhaps you could... I don't want to suggest this because the last time it didn't work.
I already talked to him.
You did. When?
I didn't have to actually use the restroom.
Oh, I thought that this whole situation might... Continue, please.
No. And Zeth said that he knows what happened to Victor, and he would have loved to collect his soul for himself, but he can't tell me, or rather, refuses to tell me, and I'm not allowed to ask again.
Can you summon him again? And we can get the information out of him?
If you want to die,
Who's
sure.
asking that? Lyra?
Well, that's Lyra, yeah.
Listen, Lyra,
Oh, I don't think I'll be dying today.
I don't want to lose another friend. And he, quite frankly, is pure evil.
If your friend is pure evil, maybe he's not actually your friend.
No, he's not my friend. He is my patron. I didn't know he was evil when I...
Expecto Patronum him.
Yes. You are my friend. I don't want you to die. I'm sorry. Did you not know we were friends?
That's a bit presumptuous, Fred.
Well, Victor is my best friend, and I am his best man. We'll be at your wedding, and thus we are best friends also.
Not anymore. And she gets up and she actually is just going to walk out of the room.
Why? Because...
Fred.
Zeth!
There is no answer.
I need a mirror. I think there's something about a mirror.
It's at this time that you get a knock on the door to Tiscadia's tower.
Kilobex is...
Hey, anybody in there?
Suspiciously...
The door does creak open.
Open up, damn it! I've been out here for like 3 seconds.
It's you. Welcome back.
I'm assuming that's who it is.
Yeah, I think like who is probably following along. Maggie.
I told you, you can just stay back at the
I
inn.
mean, I was awake anyway. You were being loud, and I figured I'd come along.
I was
Master
not being
Bolt, there's a
loud.
couple
Hey,
of
if
members
you need-
of the Little Hopes.
If you need
I
a
can
backup
hear, thank you.
drummer, I got you.
Who? Maggie. What brings you here?
Where?
I'm sorry. Have we met before?
Yes, I hired you to get us the tower.
Oh, snap! He's the boss.
Yeah, but I didn't think that we'd actually met one another.
That's true. I just
It
know
worked through Leah, but you definitely went through
So
all
our
of the
reputation
profiles.
Yeah.
precedes
Hold
us,
on.
I see.
Well,
Can you?
Very good to know.
my
You
name
don't
is
look the
Bolt.
same as last time,
This is Fred.
That's true, actually. Who actually has met Bolt, but it was in a different capacity altogether.
I don't remember.
I think he might be a doppelganger. We should probably kill him.
Them.
Let's hold off for just a wee moment here because
Yeah, who would walk over?
Them.
Your friend is a little perverted, all right?
wait a second. Are you telling me that you've got both parts? That's what who?
That's first of all, you can't see that, and second of all, that's private.
How did you know? Wait.
I just guessed,
Do you have X-ray vision?
Kilobix, can you get Who some food and get him away from here.
Of course.
Yeah, no worries.
Would you like to go to the rookery?
The rookery? Yeah. Oh, I can see my girlfriend. Oh, how's she doing?
Yeah, completely up the stairs the entire time, just distant.
I'm coming. Can't remember your name.
Is it one of the griffins?
Yeah.
Nice.
Mag,
All right.
we have not officially met, but I know who you are, and
Right. It's a pleasure to meet you, of course. And I'm sorry for coming by unannounced. This is rather awkward, but
yes, we are.
my patron woke me up in the middle of a very fantastic dream about a was it you the one who wanted a reverse harem? No, that was Fred. She has
Maggie,
a boyfriend.
Yeah, Maggie currently has a boyfriend. He's in the bottle back.
This is
the
Ifrit. I was having the most fantastic dream about my boyfriend. He's a djinn. And let me
That's all well and good. We're kind of in the middle of something at the moment.
Well, anyhow, she made me write down this song that I'm supposed to sing to you. So if you don't mind...
Can it be something that can wait till tomorrow?
It really can't. She's just been nagging, and I have got a splitting headache.
Who is your patron?
Really? You don't know this?
At this point, Goldie, it's not Goldie, it's
Ingrid.
Ingrid comes waddling in, full-on chicken hut outfit on.
Right. Oh.
I basically announced...
The Baba Yaga.
Well, of course.
Well, then go on.
Oh,
please.
so now you want to hear my little song.
Maggie, please.
Very well. Who's this lady right here with the eyes?
Going to be a big problem for you.
This is Fred. In a lot of ways, you two are.
Oh, not
very
Lyra.
alike.
She backed into the corner. Oh, no, I'm so embarrassed. Yeah. Multiple eyes. Got it.
I'm talking about the lady.
I'm talking.
The crown of eyes.
Right, sorry.
You two are actually very alike. You don't know it yet, but.
I'm sorry. I am nothing like this child. Who are you calling a child? Well, I just assumed that you were a child. I mean,
I thought it was Lyra. I didn't think she'd want to do this.
Oh, I've been preparing my whole life to do this. This is what I went to college for.
I've been waiting my whole life.
Well, I just assumed that you were a child based on your stature. I am highly offended. Are you saying you're trying to adopt me? Because everyone wants to adopt me. We are not up for adoption.
That's right.
Well, it's very well. Because I've learned that I am an unfit mother. I tried to adopt a child. His name is Kid. He's somewhere around here, but Anyway,
I'm just standing there like.
What was this about some song? Can you please get it over with? I actually also have a headache. All right, well, here we go. Hold on to your panties. All right. Okay.
There's a couple of epic time for you.
for your monologue.
for your efforts. I appreciate
All
it.
right. Now, I haven't had a chance to practice this, so it's not going to be my best performance. I'm just letting you know. But Ingrid here will collect all tips that you shower upon me. So get out your coin purses. I cannot break any gold pieces, so you'll just have to give me pure gold. All right. Here we go.
From up the stairs.
Dearies. And that's how it starts, for the record, with dearies.
I'm going to write this down.
Yeah.
There once was a mouse named Victor who could not avoid dying quicker. You know, maybe it could be a little bit more upbeat.
Lyra actually does come back out of the shadows. The rest of the lyrics, please.
Goodness, woman! All right. The serpent's to blame for all of our pain. I almost said flame.
Sorry, it's smudged a little bit.
Sorry, I
way
really
over.
wanted a swear word in here. I tried to turn pain to something very
Maggie.
unsavory. Okay.
Please continue.
So, there once was a mouse named Victor who could not avoid dying quicker. The serpent's to blame for all of our pain. Come meet me to see the big picture. You sons of bitches. I had to put it in there.
A little twinge of approval with that last part. Sure.
She liked it. All right, so that's what...
And then Ingrid does waddle over to you and go, and open up the little house.
He'll drop a gold coin into it.
Perfect. She spits up 5 silver.
Keep the change.
And she pecks it back up. You could break a gold.
We are not breaking gold coins.
Ingrid's her very own piggy bank.
Yes. It's not a very efficient one, though.
Seriously. Anyway, good old Yagi, she wanted me to give that to you. Also, she told me that there's a location you should look for. It's
Okay.
along the eastern edge of the town, just beyond the graveyard, you know. I actually have my best performances at that graveyard. A lot of people, when they're going to mourn and honor the dead, they just seem to love hearing what I have to say. Sometimes they say, I'll give you this money if you go away. But I know it really means they want to hear from me more.
Lyra is going to step over Maggie and head out the door in a hurry.
Anyway, I am going back to sleep. Well, I'll go track down who knows what he's up to.
Check it out! They got some new chicks in here.
Yours?
There's a hoot growl,
Are they
a
your babies?
crash, and then who comes tumbling down the stairs and slams on the bottom.
Was it? I can't remember. Is the owlbear a boy or girl?
The owlbear is a cub, and she is a girl.
She's a girl.
Yes.
Hey, she's give her a couple of years. I mean,
You are perverted. She's a bit young for you.
all right, well, I mean, she's like 20 times my size and all,
I've
but
got a
whatever.
giant bottle of otter piss.
Oh, all right, let's get out.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, no
yes,
problem.
I suppose we should say thank you. And if you do happen to decide that you are available for adoption at some point in the future, or if you would like to join my army, please let me know. My name is Winifred Dragonsbane. That's right, because I killed a dragon. Well,
Named who?
I'll believe it when I see it.
Humungus.
She really did kill the dragon.
Whoa, big shot. Well, if it pays good, I'm in.
Perfect. We'll be in touch. Let's go.
Little Hope successfully recruited, at least 2 of them.
Yes!
Meanwhile,
Someone just had to
My full plan of dying to get the... No, it's good.
what is the...
to revive the little hopes.
Yeah. What is your character's name?
Cylin.
Cylin. Meanwhile, Cylin is
Meek Merrill.
sleeping under the dock, like holding onto your stone, you know?
Full on anime snot bubble.
Doesn't know anything about what's going on.
Holding on to my lucky rock, just floating there.
Yep.
I love it.
There's a couple other Lidae that have kind of like congregated.
Aw,
It's
your
ju- it's
little
just
raft.
happens,
Yeah, we're all doing the like
Yeah, linking arms.
holding arms thing.
Okay. So the little hopes wander away. Lyra is gone already to search for that location.
I turn to Madame Talbane and to Meowth.
Leah's here too, but
And Leah.
That's my contribution.
Thank you all for your assistance and attempts.
of course.
That sounds like we need to go talk to a certain entity to find out what happened.
Do we take the body with us?
Well-
I am honestly feeling all out of sorts since that little red-headed child came in here.
Oh, but she's not actually a child. She's a full-grown adult. She's very small.
Yes.
Well, that's why they call themselves the Little Hopes. Because they're all tiny.
Both hysterical from the death.
I'm beside myself.
I agree.
I will take care of Victor's body if you wish.
Please.
Please don't get your waxy little bits all over him.
I was not planning on it.
Sometimes I've just noticed, and I don't want to hurt your feelings. But you leave a trail.
His eye like whips around to the back and he starts like circling. There is a little bit of a trail.
Yes, it's as if you didn't wipe very well. It's rather embarrassing, wouldn't you say? So please don't.
Is this a problem, Master Bolt?
I don't care.
I mean,
A little wax never hurt no one.
and
Half of our food comes wrapped in wax.
Yes, well, but the carpets. Have
Those
you looked?
giant wheels of cheese
These
that we have to
beautiful Persian
peel open
rugs
and peel the
are
wax
covered
off of.
in wax.
I see what you did there, Meowth Persian.
That was not
I
on
know
purpose.
it wasn't, but I made the
Actually,
connection anyway.
no, you're right. Maybe you could preserve him even further. Feel free. Put your grubby little hands all over Victor.
Please,
We will unwrap him like a giant
Do
wheel
what
of
we-
cheese when we get back.
do what we normally do with
Parmesan
Daddy,
cheese.
please don't.
with 10 Wayward Watch members.
yeah, do what we do with the normal dead wayward watch members.
Are you sure I should give them a bit more care? Maybe put him in his own room rather than
That's
the
what the
larder?
mausoleum is for.
Oh,
The
we shouldn't have let the two
catacombs
little
are-
people go. Because I heard if you get 7 little men...
Where is this going? It could be anywhere.
Listen, there's a fairy tale that I used to listen to when I was a child about 7 little men, and their beautiful princess died. They encapsulated her in a glass tomb, and then,
Ate her. Wait. Wrong
well, I don't know if they ate her.
Alright.
They might have, like,
By
cut
the
off
way,
a few bits.
I'm the other voice.
To be
in
fair,
her head.
half of
It had
all-
nothing to do with this
Yeah.
conversation.
To be fair, half of all fairy tales end up horribly.
cannibalism.
Yeah.
So yes,
For some reason,
I thought you were going to say in divorce.
they
half of all fairy
probably...
in divorce.
Just,
full on
we
Lord of the
take a little
Flies.
sliver here and there. But regardless, they were able to somehow tempt a prince to come, and his... Oh, we didn't have Lyra try to kiss him! We have to go get her immediately. Let's go.
Let's go to the graveyard to
Yes.
get Lyra.
Yes.
Wink, wink. Not for any other
Got
reason.
there in the end. Okay.
Yeah, we'll head out.
Okay. The
Where is this going?
I have no clue.
I'm just having... Okay, I'm back.
Heading to the graveyard. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
I assume I know where they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you know where the graveyard is. You go east beyond it. You see Lyra is out there kind of pacing. She's actually pacing around a ring of mushrooms.
The ring
That's,
around mushrooms.
So how
you know
far
what I
east is it?
mean?
Because east is actually the river.
No. East is...
It's just the river.
Southport is on the...
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought it was on the other side. My bad.
Oh, I got my
okay.
directions confused.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was thinking east was that way.
Yep. Don't worry, I know my world. Yeah, so you get there, Lyra is circling around, and she looks up and she goes, I don't think she's going to appear until you get here.
Well, I kind of go like, I don't know, in the middle-ish of the graveyard, and I go, Miss Yaga?
Mrs. Is she married?
I don't know. I'm just trying to be
Oh,
polite.
probably to that weird little...
Oh, I've been
Mole
married
person.
plenty of times. dear.
Yes, there she
And
is.
then she's standing right in the middle of that ring of mushrooms.
Ah.
She goes, took your time getting over here, but I'm glad to see
Well, let's just say Maggie was not very efficient in her delivery of your instructions.
Unfortunately, the type of people that I contract with aren't typically the most efficient. Lyra's actually going to pull her
Very
daggers
special
out
needs.
and start like surrounding the Baba Yaga, and she just growls, "Where is he? I don't have his soul."
Do you know where that soul is?
Unfortunately, yes. And
Did Zeth take
Maybe.
his soul?
no, if it were that easy, I would just take care of it myself. Unfortunately, the gods got involved, and they made a mistake because they took my prize from me. and I'm not bound by the same silly rules that they are. So I'm going to tell you everything that's been going down now. And that's their fault.
Ooh, spill the tea. I love a good tea spilling.
And she just takes like this giant pot of tea, appears in her hands, and she just tosses it onto the ground and shatters it.
Tea spilled.
Yeah. It takes a lot of exposition, though, so get comfortable,
Ooh, I
dearest.
love exposition.
I use
Please
my
say
seatbelt.
that you are singing it. I'm ready.
No, I don't sing. I leave that for my lessers. So, long ago, so long that even old Aneria would have called it ancient history.
This would make an excellent ballad. I'm just saying.
Before the shattering.
Yes. And
I do hope you know that we will be asking questions and or interrupting.
I fully expect it. Although, you know,
we're friends of Victor. You should know.
Yes, I know who you are, Bolt.
Quite frankly, I'm
that's right.
surprised
We were-
that Bolt is interrupting so much at this point. Normally, I'm the one who interrupts.
Well,
It would normally be
just lost
you
the
and
thread.
Victor, but obviously for obvious reasons.
You are mourning. You are not yourself.
Lyra is full on like twitching at this point in rage, but she's keeping her cool. Anyway, there were not many races in the ancient times, but one
Like foot races at least, though, right?
not many species. One single species ruled over all, and that was the Ulzat.
What now?
Ulzat.
Oh,
Ulzat. And how would you spell that? Just curious.
Fred. We have one on our ship.
No, you don't.
Well, sorry. We have an Ulzat Moai.
you just
we
have a
have
Moai. Yes.
He was created by the Ulzat.
We'll get to that.
How do you spell it?
Ulzot.
Oh, just like it sounds.
She just like writes it in there.
It's like, this is oral history. It doesn't matter.
Matters to me. Continue.
Elves, humans, dwarves, and the like had all been made by the gods and were beginning to take their first steps towards civilization when the Ulzat became the dominant species in the world thanks to the favor of their own god. Her name is Asanti, and she is the winged serpent of chaos. In fact, she is one of the beings that created this reality and all that you stand upon. But most of that was on accident, to be fair. She was fighting another god, and well, things happen anyway.
I'm sorry. What was her name?
Azanti.
Asante.
Asanti?
Yep,
Haven't
Asante.
we heard that before? Why?
We've heard Ashante.
I'm not sure. You may have heard it in
Asante.
passing.
Yeah,
Somebody
I
was.
think I
yeah.
had heard of Asanti at some
Yeah.
No,
point.
that's wrong.
What's important is that Asanti used her power to bring life to the Ulzat, who worshipped her and earned her favor. Her gifts allowed them to conquer the known world, and the mortal races did their best to fight back at first, but the Ulzat were masters of magic, and soon enough the rest of the peoples of Aneria went into hiding in the most remote locations of the mortal plane. Places the Ulzat would not care about them squatting and carving out a meager existence. Deserts, the like. Tundras. Anyway.
That's depressing.
Oh, very much so. With no opposition, and this is where it gets kind of worse, the Ulzat prospered and began to experiment with life themselves. They were powerful, but wished to spend their time in the pursuit of free expression and art rather than maintaining their empire or growing crops. So they created most of the beings you see today that are amalgams of animal and humanoid. The Adequathan, the Extoli, Lede, Tabaxi, Kitsune, Kitsune, Minotaurs, Centaurs, all of them.
Yeah.
All under the guidance and direction of Asanti herself. What should have been a triumph of magic, though, might have been, in the Ulzat's case, a bad thing, because it caused a schism between the two sides of the Ulzat mind. Not mind, but people, as it were. Some of them began to wonder if subjugating races and enslaving them to do their work was a problem, and tried to find a better solution.
They literally had a "Are we the baddies" moment.
Yes. So this faction of goody Ulzat, we'll say, if there ever was one, created a different method. They created a being of pure energy that could inhabit constructs to do the work, and gave it just enough intelligence that it could function without being sentient.
The Moai.
The Moai. Everybody...
Like Haphis.
Yes, like Haphis. They did gain their sentience later on, which we'll get to, but just know that they weren't always the way they are now. Anyway, a lot of the Ulzat began to switch over to this method, seeing it as a more efficient way. You don't have to feed a Moai, you don't have to house it, you just have to put it into a crystal and call it good. But Asanti didn't like the order of it all, being the goddess of chaos after all. And she began to strike fear into the hearts of her subjects, fear that this would bring about the end of the Ulzat. They, in turn, stoked that fear to the people, and soon enough, war broke out between the two factions. I'm sorry, I lost my place here. Old memory, you know.
Yes, I do.
The details of this war are long and not really relevant, but the result actually is. After nearly wiping one another out, those that favored the Moai finally assaulted the capital city after learning that the Church of Asanti was attempting to summon her avatar into the world to wipe them out. The forces were able to assault the temple and modify the ritual at the last minute, so that instead of creating an avatar, the ritual pulled the serpent herself into the mortal plane and made her vulnerable enough to kill. Only 2 survived that assault, but they succeeded in their task and slew her, which in turn leveled the capital of the Ulzat in a mass of chaotic energies. And you would think that would be the end of it, but gods are not so easy to kill. A piece of Asanti still existed in the heart of Aneria, as she had been the one to create the world herself. She would have slept for millennium without any hope of awakening, if not for the shattering. A force so incredible that it managed to waken a slumbering elder god. Ever since her full awakening... I'm sorry, my dear, am I boring you with this conversation?
No, actually, my mind is going a million miles an hour. I have a very important question
and the
eventually.
yawning is very much a sign of good, like you're engaging then, I suppose.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's a method of cooling off the brain.
Yes.
I don't usually
oxygen.
I don't usually get to do this much exposition. I'm very excited.
You're doing wonderful. Continue.
Ever since her full awakening, she's been building her influence and forming allies. Her faithful have formed a group that you know as the Bloodflame Serpents. And they have 2 goals in mind. First was to create fear and chaos, to feed and empower her. And the second is a task given to her chosen heralds. They have to collect certain items for a ritual to once again give her form. Only through this ritual can Asanti returns. And you're just in luck because I know the individual components for this ritual and what is needed.
Ooh. Please tell me they're easy to get.
Half of them have already been collected, unfortunately. The first is the egg of a dragon. The more powerful its sire, the better.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Next...
They have one of the golden eggs.
You realize that every piece that they have brings Asanti closer to being back into the world, and that's a bad thing, right?
Oh, I was thinking we could bring her back, and...
You do not want to bring back the elder god of chaos. You're very young. You're very adorable. Here's a Werther's.
Thank you.
Oh, you got an everlasting one. The blood of Asanti is also required, which was collected and hidden away long ago. But they obviously have found its location, and they are working towards getting that as well.
So where is that located?
I'm not at liberty to discuss that, under powerful contracts that have been made over centuries.
Oh,
can we just start listing places and you can tell us if we're warm or cold?
It's not on this plane, I can tell you that much.
Not on this plane.
Ferost.
No, I don't know what that is.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. The next thing she
Gobbledygook.
Nope, definitely not there either. I've never heard of that.
Sorry, I thought we were just saying random words.
The next thing that she needs is the blade of the enemy to be used with the final sacrifice to bring her to rise.
Dragon egg.
Is that
blood
dagger from Victor?
Typically, her enemy in this case would be Zolos, who is the god of order and...
How come you didn't get the thunder?
I
always get
I
the
don't
thunder.
get. I don't get.
Oh, I'm
thunder.
sorry. We have some very strict rules, and one of them is don't say Zolos.
Keep on with that word, there, dear.
I think I missed one. Dragon egg, blood of Asanti,
Blade of the enemy.
blade of the enemy.
So Aramis's sword would have been preferable, but it seems that you've made enough of a name for yourself against the Bloodflame Serpents that Victor's blade did indeed count, and that's why he was unfortunately pulled from my grasp. And then she requires 1,000 souls to be consumed directly.
I know all about consuming souls.
I suppose you would, but not on this scale. And that's, I think, the crux of where we're getting to is Victor's soul has been taken as one of these.
Do we know how many other souls have been?
I don't. I don't have any sort of inner eye into the inner circle of the heralds. I do know that they are nearing their goal.
And was it the heralds who posed as Lyra to attack Victor?
One of their minions did, and because it's a minion of the Bloodflame Serpents, it means that the soul, unfortunately, belongs to the Goddess of Chaos until it can be freed.
I
So,
just feel like maybe she's getting a bad rap. What's wrong with a little chaos?
There are fine gods of chaos out there. You've met one of them, or I suppose Victor has, but
You?
no, I wouldn't. I know I have plans within plans. None of it's chaotic. I'm not just a weird old lady who's just doing things at random and seeing what sticks. What are you talking about?
it sounds like they have more than half of what they need. They're just souls left.
Just collecting souls
Just
now.
souls in the blood, which they still don't have, as far as I've been able to tell.
So
Oh,
where
sorry, I thought
could
they
we
had
find
the blood.
more information on
No,
this blood?
if they had the blood, I could tell you where it is.
So it's on a different plane, not gobbledygook.
Now, just for meta's sake and
Sure.
for definition's sake, when you say not another plane, are each one of the individual chunks of Aneria a separate plane?
Yes.
Or are they all
Yep,
collectively
because
one
you cannot teleport between them.
Got it.
Yep, they are considered different
Okay.
planes.
So the blood
like
is probably
the
on.
Eternal Empires, for example.
It could be in the Eternal Empires. It could be in Arconis. It could be anywhere in any of the other.
Not in
planes.
Arconis. We already went there. It's a silly place.
Yeah, that's where the dragon egg is from. So that one's right out.
Tis a silly place.
So, here's my task to you, dearies. Find Victor's soul, release it, get it back to its body, and I'll look the other way until he dies again.
I really like when you call us dearies. Makes me feel good inside.
I know you do have a very, very low bar for...
Parental attention.
Yes.
Zeth never calls me dearie.
She pats your head a little bit.
How does one change
The tentacle. They just move out of the way.
patrons?
You-
Asking for a friend.
I'm afraid that I can't answer questions like that without enraging other
Perhaps-
parties.
Perhaps you have to destroy your current one.
How does one become a god?
In addition...
To the library.
In addition to this, if you get Victor's body back, I will not...
We have his body.
Oh, sorry. Get his soul back.
Oh, yes.
I will not dispute his soul and take it and let him return if he were to die again. Gods forbid.
As the young people say,
Until
yes,
Asanti is dead.
queen.
Tell his. Okay.
Yep. I want her faithful gone. I want her to be not dead necessarily. I just don't want her back, if that makes sense.
Okay, but I'm
But
sorry.
if she does come back, kill her anyway.
If she is dead, though, then you will take his soul.
How do we kill her? Can you give
Once
us,
he dies.
Can you give us anything
Oh,
on
I
that?
I mean, the most apt time, if you don't stop the ritual when it happens, would be to try and kill her when she had just completed the ritual. It's when she's going to be at her weakest. that will be an incredibly tough, probably fatal, suicidal fight. But it's the only way to stop her at that point. And I'm sure if you spoke to certain deities were to come to that, they might be inclined to assist you. After all, they've already killed her once.
Do we know which deities?
Oh, sorry, yes. Zolos and his brother. No, you stop that.
Wait,
I thought
he has a brother?
that he's...
You thought what?
Okay, I guess I'm confused. So they're trying to bring back Asante,
Yes.
the god of chaos that created Aneria.
Yep.
And
And why they want to wipe out. Like, what is
global
their
domination.
purpose? Like, is it Like, what is their purpose?
As far as it
aren't
goes,
the blood flame serpents following Zolos' commands?
no. Zolos has been fighting the blood flame serpents from the beginning.
Okay.
Aramis's whole shtick was that he was fighting the blood flame serpents.
Zolos is just he's the god of vengeance.
Okay.
But so they.
He's also the god of order, although he likes vengeance a little bit more. If you want to know, he's also the one who
Order
originally
versus
killed
chaos.
Asante.
I get you.
Him and his brother,
And who's his brother?
which is how you get to godhood, by the way. So at least in
Having
some
a
cases.
brother.
You
Killing.
should be there 7 times over.
Killing a god.
Oh, I thought you were going to say killing
It could
a
kill
brother.
you in the blast, or it
hold
could make you divine.
Victor, myself, Eve, and Saradon, we killed a god.
No, you didn't. you defeated a demigod, first of all.
Does that make us demigods, though?
By all rights of power, probably, yes.
when you get a few more levels,
Yes,
we'll
at
talk.
this point you probably are at least demigod status, but more like early Hercules trials rather than later
I will
Hercules
go
trials.
most anywhere.
Exactly.
Feel like
Now-
I belong. Okay, I'm sorry. To ask another stupid question.
Ask away.
So, the blood flame serpents,
Yes.
they are attempting to bring back Asante,
Mm-hmm.
the winged serpent god who created Aneria to begin
Yes.
with. And their purpose in reviving her is to utilize her power.
I'm assuming so. They want to control things. They have their own purposes. Obviously, you knew that the Herald of Flame had his own agenda.
Now, I mean, if they revive her, is she somehow beholden to them?
That's entirely up to her, to be fair. Unfortunately, trying to deal with dark gods often leads to consequences that are unforeseen.
Especially ones that are claimed to be chaotic.
Yes.
Again,
However,
nothing wrong with little chaos.
her
in
most
there.
faithful, the Herald of Chaos, simply does want to watch Aneria be subjugated, burned, destroyed,
Well,
reformed, destroyed
I don't
again.
like that. I live here.
As do I. And I don't think that I'm going to be spared from her wrath either if she returns, especially because I spilled the tea now.
Yes, I'm so sorry, but I loved that you did that.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you for telling
quite
us.
the visual.
So,
The mops are like,
They're not even at they're at the tower and they're already like shaking in rage.
Does the brother of Zolos have a name?
Oh yes, of course he does. Ooh, what? Is
Solas.
No, he has. Hang on, let me.
Brolos.
Protoss?
Protoss. You require more Vespinias.
For ire.
My life.
His name is Orthias.
Or
Ordathias.
Orthias.
Yes. In fact, he's been very friendly to your party. He helped Victor recover Aramis's soul from Zolos and free it to an afterlife instead of eternal servitude.
Is he single? And is he attractive?
He is single. He is very attractive, and he's a musician. However, he is also very much a player, so be aware that he's not any one woman's man, or any one man's man, for that matter.
It's kind of thrilling.
Have you ever heard of
isn't
Jack Harkness?
We're hiding that gun.
Well,
it?
that's...
Good to know. What about Solos, though? Is he...
Don't even worry. Don't even get involved with him unless you absolutely have to.
Oh.
He's a big stick in the mud.
So, Orthias.
Sorry, a big flaming stick in the mud.
So, Orthias might be a good resource.
Flaming.
Yes.
So he is gay.
However, I'm not quite sure what his orientation is, to be
It's
precise. He might be asexual. I don't know.
Demisexual.
I'm just
However,
trying to
he
figure
only
out
likes
what my
demigods.
chances are. Continue.
I mean, that's kind of
I would
Zeus's
not
thing,
expect
immortals.
any direct action from the gods because they have rules against stopping one another
Of course.
physically.
Even when another god is threatening to destroy everything.
If the god were affecting things herself, yes, but she's working through the proper channels.
Until she gets summoned.
How
Until she gets
does
summoned.
one commune with a god?
Lots of prayer and devotion.
I've just been looking in a mirror.
That was literally bullet just like,
I'm
It's-
looking at the man in
it's-
the mirror.
It's much more easy to get a patron
asking him to change
to
his
answer the
ways.
phone, but our bargains are a little bit more... Well, I think they're fair, but you know how people are with their mortal souls and all of that.
I get it. This candy is very good, by the way.
It will never end.
Bert's like, shut up.
Now, I can tell that our lovely little Lyra here wishes to speak with me on her own. You all look, and Lyra is very much like, got that look on her face of like determination. But before I go, don't say that I don't ever get you anything nice. I have a contact that is coming to help you. One of my best, not one of my horsemen, but one of my best. They should be here by morning, if they've gotten my message. Let me just verify. Sorry, I just had to scream in their head once again to make sure that they were on their way.
I just picture like an old grandma. She pulls out one of those like the sewing tins, but it actually has the cookies in it this time, and she's like, "Yes, okay, they've cooked."
It's the equivalent of like what he hears in his what they would hear in their things like an intercom system. It's like
Paging. Yeah. And
And
Yes.
what is their name?
When you're done, I have something to ask.
I'll let them introduce themselves. What's the fun in spoiling all the beans? My beans! Just a moment.
And she just
Yeah, and then reappears, and she's got a pot, and they're all burnt, and she just tosses it down next to the broken teapot.
they would have been a magical bag of beans, but they got burned.
Yeah, I keep trying, but things keep interrupting me.
One of them hits, and then a pyramid in the middle of the city.
Yeah. You had one more question.
Lyra thinks that we're not friends anymore. She and I. Can you put in a good word for me?
She leans in and she goes, Lyra didn't really ever think you were friends. You've only met the one time. But I'll put in a good word for you. Because she grabs your cheeks and she's like, because you're very special, my dear. The affirmation that you need. All the eyes start weeping again.
I am special.
Another ocular.
They pull a handkerchief and you're just like, damn it.
Now, hurry along back to your fun little tower. My contact will be there tomorrow, and you can go off and find Victor. Well, find his soul at least.
Okay. If you come up with anything else you'd be willing or able to tell us, we would be very appreciative. Especially through, you'd probably contact us through your...
I'll be completely honest with you. As much as I love giving the middle finger to the gods, I'm probably going to be under very heavy scrutiny after tonight. So,
Understandable.
just if you don't hear from me in a while, come save old Granny.
Two quests, okay. I think I can fit 2 quests.
I'll just get rid of this deliver a note quest.
Gather 20 apples in the orchard for the orphans.
Or save the Baba Yaga.
Abandoned.
Yeah.
Save
Poor
the Baba Yaga.
orphans.
Baba Yaga gets better loot.
That's true, actually. Those orphans are like, I guess he doesn't get the artifact sword that we had. Aww.
Yeah, because they it was a mystery prize.
Yep. You're on Nuzlocke mode, so everything's randomized.
Yeah.
With that, like, she kind of ushers you on, and she says, Lyra, I'm assuming you wish to speak with me about a deal. And
But
Lyra
before we
says,
leave, I'll actually
yes.
say, Lyra, please stay at the tower tonight, at least,
I'll come back after I'm done talking.
till we can figure out a plan.
Bring him back.
That's the hope. The big hope, not to be confused with the littlest hopes.
Yeah, I can hear them drunk singing down, even from here.
Yeah, they're like walking down the path.
Yeah. Well,
okay, yeah, we'll head back to the tower unless you have anything else going.
I just need to quickly drop by the ship to let Xander know that Madame Talmain is coming to examine him and hopefully fix him.
I will go with you, actually.
Perfect.
so it's pretty late into the evening. The two of you leave Lyra and the Baba Yaga to talk. You head on down to the docks again. It's pretty late, so there's not that many people out and about.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm going to start the ship up, and I'm going to fly it up to our tower.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So you start, like, spinning the ship up. Ava comes out and kind of rubs her eyes a little bit, like, going somewhere, Captain?
Yes. Well, temporarily. But we have a mission. And I will... Well... Victor was killed tonight.
Oh. I'm going to need something stronger than coffee. Like, as everyone, like, what happened?
He was betrayed by someone who took the face of his fiancée.
Doppelgangers?
Yes.
And doppelgangers.
She killed him. And we just got done talking to the Baba Yaga.
That's like the
Baba
folk figure.
Yes. Victor is one of her horsemen, or will be. It's a long story.
I can imagine it would be.
But his soul was supposed to go to her upon his death. However, as part of that her soul was stolen.
So we're going after the soul?
Yes. And also possibly preventing the end of Aneria. This is what you signed up for.
Yep.
I'm like this shit's just like...
Definitely going to need something stronger than coffee.
So from an outside point of view, when you actually hit that temporal...
The ship goes...
The ship, yeah, like if one end's
in?
poking in one side and the other, it looks like...
Yeah. So yeah, basically like it kind of looks like it like flattens for a moment and then actually disappears from the outside view.
Paper Mario.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Fred, you can go down below deck, and
I'm gonna anchor it to the top of the tower, just kind of jerry-rig it real quick, because we do have those big doors that open up, and that's where I'm gonna lay out like some planks and stuff so we can load up supplies.
It's just barely big enough to do like a single gangplank side kind of thing. So yeah, Xander is just kind of like sitting there watching the door to the brig. What has become your brig temporarily as you approach.
Hi, Xander.
Evening, Fred.
How are you holding up?
I'm fine. You are tired.
Well, funny enough, Victor is dead.
Oh.
I know. But we met with his patron, the Baba Yaga, and she said we can get him back. His soul.
You might say fell for the wrong girl. Sorry.
I don't know when you're ever going to use it, but here's an epic die.
He fell for the wrong girl.
That's
It's a
inappropriate.
I
I'm assuming.
It's dark humor. Listen, Xander.
It's how she copes, okay?
It's a deflecting
Are you
mechanism.
okay?
Would you be my... If we weren't brother and sister, would you be my friend? Wait, are we friends?
I'm thinking. I mean, I guess I would kind of consider us friends. We haven't really hung out a lot beyond fighting kind of to the death for Sir's amusement, so
I don't think I have any friends.
well, Victor and Bolt.
I mean,
Sore subject.
yeah, but Victor's dead now.
You said you were getting him back. I'm assuming that is like plans in the works and not just your usual mad ramblings.
Have you ever prayed?
Yes?
Who do you pray to?
Well, I don't pray anymore, but I used to pray to Davros, like a lot of the Arcanum. It's a fine experience, I suppose, but
I'm supposed to get in touch with Solos.
I have not heard of that god.
God
I don't
of
have the
order.
thunder. Sorry, we're put it in post.
God of Order and his deliciously sexy brother, Orthias.
Of course, that would be
Allegedly.
the focus here. Allegedly.
According to the Baba Yaga, and quite frankly, I think she has excellent taste in men.
As you're chewing on the word, there's still...
You talk to a lot of weird people. Mm-hmm. I'm worried for you.
I think that's something a friend would say. So we are friends. I knew it!
Fine, we're friends.
All right, here's the thing. I paid
Fred.
actual money, my own money,
Uh-huh.
which I don't normally do. I normally make Bolt pay for everything, and he doesn't. They don't really know it.
Because I don't know how to do math, apparently.
But I used
Bolt
my
doesn't have
own
intelligence.
actual money.
No, I have
100 gold.
Joking. It's sarcasm slash S.
All right.
Okay.
100 gold for you to be examined by... Listen.
By a professional, I hope.
I mean...
Sorry,
like
a magical
we're
professional.
no longer friends, I guess.
Not like some circus.
Well, yes, she's
Carney.
coming later. The first one is coming to just,
Uh-huh.
because I think you could use
Like a
little
show
bit
dog or...
of release.
That was only 10 gold for that one.
Cut it out. I couldn't help myself. No, she is a professional. Her
Okay.
name is Madame Talvane. And
Wait. Tiefling?
Yeah?
Really good at magic? Oh my gosh. Like the best mage hunter that the Arcanum ever had?
You better believe it. And I found her for you. That's something a friend would do.
Yeah, actually, I would say that's the case. Weird request.
Mm-hmm.
Could you give me a parchment and a quill?
You have the chalkboard, remember?
I would really like to get her autograph.
Sure.
Thank you.
If you play your cards right, you might get more.
You only paid 100 gold. There's
That is like 2 autographs.
2 autographs, yeah. You sweet summer child.
He's like Mike Wazowski. I'm on the cover of a magazine.
Yeah.
Don't be weird about it, though.
Right. Cool, collected, calm.
She is going to examine you tomorrow. She's coming to examine you.
Right.
To see if she can reverse what has been done to you.
Well, that would be great.
And I'll probably have to pay a lot of money when she decides whatever that is that needs to be done.
I really appreciate that, and I'll pay it off if I can.
Yes, with interest. That's fantastic. So
That's what friends do, is charge interest.
I'm joking about the interest part.
Just less interest.
She like scratches off 5 and puts 7 in the contract. I wish Victor was here for the contracts.
Right?
Victor and his contracts.
Well,
I will get you
I appreciate
parchment and quill, but yes, please expect her. And how are our other little brothers doing? Big brothers.
Well, the twins are as belligerent as ever. But, Belgraph looks contemplative. If you want to talk about praying, you should talk to him. Actually, it looks like he's been spending a lot of time doing that.
Very well. We'll speak with him.
What was our plan with them? For them?
Lyra and the
That's right.
earrings were going to
yeah.
take him.
That's right.
I mean, do you want to speak to him now?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. And he opens up the door and he just like reaches his giant hand and you hear a couple like muffled like, ugh, and then just grabs Belgraph and drags him out, and then closes the door again.
A moment alone, please, Xander.
And he just stands up and he looks at Belgraph and then goes, and Belgraph kind of like shrinks away a little bit, and then he just walks off. Yeah. He's never been bigger than his older brother. Yeah.
Hi, Belle.
Fred?
Xander tells me you've been doing a lot of soul searching.
Xander doesn't like to keep his mouth shut, does he? Sorry. Yes, I have. What you said to me on the ship about Sir and our upbringing, it got me thinking a little bit. And then almost dying to your friends, and then running from them, and then them finding me and almost killing me again, and then...
Can I do an insight check to see if he seems sincere?
It really does change a man.
That's a 12.
It really does change a man. As far as Fred knows. But, I'm not going to say that you should free me because I've turned over a new leaf. We both know that wouldn't happen anyway, and if it did, I would be very disappointed in you for trusting me like that so soon. It's definitely not how it
That's all
works.
fine and good. Belle. Who do you pray to?
Davros. I kind of went back to the old ways when I, look, there's not a lot of gods, all right? There's like 3 that I can tell.
Does he ever answer you?
No.
You must be doing it wrong then.
Davros hasn't really, as far as I know, he's not a answering directly kind of god. Considering he is literally the sun, like, he's not really available to take calls, if that makes sense.
I'll give you a sunburn.
With words spelled out.
Very cool.
You up? Yes, it's
WID.
daytime. Yeah.
What do you do?
You have to get a full. It's like when someone writes on you with sunscreen, you have to get a full sunburn, and then his message comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Draws
No, I
on
have
your skin.
cancer too.
I was gonna say all of his priests die really early for some reason.
It's so bizarre.
It's the only way I
Can
can get my
you-
messages.
I feel just... I can humble myself to ask this. Will you teach me how to pray?
I can try. You don't really have the disposition for it, though.
I know, but I have to try. I have to get in touch with this god, and apparently praying is the only way to do it.
You have to?
My friend, Victor, is dead, and his soul was taken.
By a specific god.
Uh,
You know what? I don't think I need the details. It sounds like it's going to be a very long Fred rant if I do.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'll teach you as best that I can.
All right. What
Do you
I
think that you can sit still and not talk for a minute?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll put it on the screen.
Fred, could you help me with something, please?
Has it been 60 seconds?
Yeah.
Belgraph opens his eyes and he goes, I am very impressed. You managed to resist talking. That's incredible. That's the first step, is trying to quiet yourself enough that you can listen to the world around you. You can talk now.
My whole body hurts. Oh, that was so painful.
We'll try for 2 minutes tomorrow night. How about that? But try for a minute each night, each morning. But try thinking about connecting with a god. Reaching out to them, asking them a question in your head, quietly. I'm really not the one to do this. Like, you should talk to a priest or something.
That sounds horrible. I talked to a priest earlier today and... Ooh.
Right. Well, good night, then.
Thanks, Belle.
No problem. Right.
Back in the jokey.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
So you get him back into his cell, close the door, and you guys can... Bolt is technically calling you. Or was that just for the comedy?
It was for the comedy, but I did actually...
You need to talk to us out.
It was just more of I needed the assistant. We're loading stuff up on the ship.
Yeah, okay. So it's pretty late in the evening at this point, so everybody can kind of take a long rest, heal up.
Do we notice Lyra getting back?
She does get back pretty late, but
She probably just goes straight to Victor's room.
Yep, she goes to Victor's room. She actually, no, you know what? She's going to keep vigil in the lounge where he's still resting.
He's been covered in wax.
No, he has not been covered in wax.
He's been carbonite Han Solo'd in wax.
He's been gentle reposed, and that's it.
He's waxing old.
The next morning...
Long rest?
Yes. The next morning, a figure approaches the tower that has just barely arrived in Salisbury. Through probably like tree walk, I would say. You were this figure was probably, we'll say, in the Bleakwood Forest, and they managed to get a ride from a particular coven of the Baba Yagas to get here quickly. The mission is basically the same for this figure. They received the missive from the Baba Yaga to find the soul of Victor, their new potential horseman, and free it. Preston, would you describe the gentleman that is walking up to the tower at this point?
Yes. So you see before you... Gotta get it, because I actually wrote it down. So as he walks in, you see a tall figure standing with a rigid, formal grace. His angular features have deep, garnet eyes that give him an imposing presence, while his goldenrod blonde hair, cascading past his sharp, half-elven ears, betray his mixed heritage. He wears an elaborate, ornate outfit adorned with rings, one of which you ironically recognize as the Ring of Feather Falling. And his hand rests on an intricately carved staff. Around his neck hangs a small ornate vial, a symbol of something darker, perhaps a connection to powers beyond mortal comprehension. And his expression's neutral, but you see, as he smiles, there's a flicker of disdain for just the general populace around him. Like the world's beneath him and fails to meet his expectations. And he approaches and he says, I presume this is the Wayward Watch.
That's correct. I am Bolt. And you are?
For clarity's sake, you're probably out telling Helm what happened last night.
Yeah.
Because he slept through the whole thing. Or he meditated.
Okay. So would I knock on the door then?
Nope. So you're outside. Yeah.
Okay.
That conversation can continue.
I am Lochlirian. I have been sent by the Baba Yaga.
She did say that someone would show up.
Show us a picture of him.
And the picture...
Oh, yeah. Preston did an AI mock-up of his character,
So
too.
Lochlirian.
Yep. We'll put it up on screen.
His
for
ears are
people.
more not pointy.
Yeah.
But
Very,
otherwise-
very Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah. Very gaunt, very
Demure.
demure, very mindful.
Very mindful.
Are you... Never mind, keeping it to myself.
Go
Is
ahead.
Fred out there now too?
Fred's leaning out the window.
Am I what exactly?
You're just very handsome. I just happened to notice, but I'm not going to act upon those impulses because I'm going to start studying about Zolos so I can learn how to talk to him. And I will not be distracted by your beautiful face and body.
The window shutters. Batten down the hatch.
And then you see the emo angel go, "You tell him, girl."
Yeah.
I presume that
He's up
is-
there with the gargoyles.
yeah.
That is the one with the blood of Bloodsbane.
Yes. That's Fred.
And you are?
Bolt. I already said that.
Fair.
Lochlyrian.
Lochlyrian. L-I-R-I-E-N.
Which I just got the name pun, you jerk.
Lock S foils on tack position.
Actually, maybe
What is
not.
the pun?
Well,
Lochlyrian.
is it based on Loch Lamora?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Lochlamora.
I was like, I read the name and I was like, oh, Preston came up with like a fine name, like because usually it's always got a pun in it.
something in there.
Yeah, it's something in it, and I couldn't even think of it, and then you said it out loud, and I went,
Yeah.
right, okay, I got it now.
Lochlamora. The Lies of Lochlamora. Yeah. Gentlemen Bastards. It's a book, if anyone wants to read it.
Yes.
But yes, yeah, Locke would say, well, I suppose before we begin, may I see the body?
Sure. Right this way, and I'll lead you into the tower.
Okay.
And over to the lounge.
Okay, he would kind of sniff the air a little bit and look around. And again, you get the sense that he's kind of looking around and he picks up on like everything that is like not clean or like in its perfect. You get the sense that he's very judgmental, right? And very, very aware of his surroundings.
The brooms can feel it too, and they start working overtime for some reason. Yeah.
I see.
Kilobix does like
Well.
big steppy so he doesn't leave a trail.
I'm learning to be steppy.
Can I, just as a flavor, I want him to kind of go over and kind of take his finger, like his middle finger. He's got these kind of like longer, what would you call it? It's not his nails, but they're like it's like
one
a
of those
gauntlet with like little syringe.
Yeah, it's got
type
one of
things.
those like little tiny like nail rings
really
or something.
long nail rings or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
And he's just gonna prick the top of Victor's head, and I want him to cast
Are you-
Hematric Siphon and like pulling some of the.
Okay,
the
so
blood.
you're just gonna do this blatantly, is that right?
Yeah, blatantly. He'll just do
Right
it.
before
your
Locke's finger touches, a kunai right to the neck, almost ready to puncture through. And Lyra says, "What are you doing?"
You must be the one named Lyra.
That's correct. And you were about to touch the body of a member of the Eight Rings.
My apologies. I was simply trying to get a small vial of his blood as to make it somewhat easier to find his captors.
And who exactly are you?
I am Lochlyrian. I am sure Bolt here can explain the rest. Would you mind?
He is the one that the Baba Yaga sent to us.
Roll me in persuasion to see if you can convince her.
And he'll, as he's saying it, he's not going to be very nice. He'll be, can you please remove this barbaric instrument from my throat? 17 plus...
That would imply that it was in your throat. I can put it there first if you'd like. It's just near it right now.
Well, as much as I do love a good bloodletting.
The Eight Rings love their semantics.
Look. If it will help you find his soul, you may take a small vial.
I swear.
But I am watching you very closely. And the kunai does pull away. It gives you like like one of those tiny little like nicks on the way out too. Yeah.
And he'll kind of like sniff, and he smiles, but again you see that flash of like he'll remember this, like whatever, and he's gonna He'll take a small amount and he'll open the little clasp for the little vial around his neck. You see as a small part of it goes into it. Okay.
Well,
Just that's it.
now that whatever that was is settled,
Fascinating.
Bolt, I'm going to be taking Victor's body back to Hasmond Day. Whether we'll keep him secure for as long as we can, obviously, but his mom needs to know, and we need to mourn, even if he is going to come back.
You were able to contact me on our rings.
Yes.
But they don't work.
Across planes, right?
Do
they? I thought they did.
Well, he's
Because
using
I
the
was
goblet.
Yeah, well, Victor uses the goblet just because it's Victor. And Lyra goes, that reminds me. And she actually pulls the goblet out of Victor's inventory, and she's going to hand it to Kilobix and say, hide this.
Kilobix is like, you got it.
So we'll deal with that when we come to it. I'll leave a note on Victor's character sheet for that. Okay. Don't remove the item, but she definitely does not want him to have it at this point.
I have contacted Kilobix from Arconis.
Yes. Yep.
So the rings do
The
work.
rings do go across the planes. It does look like. Probably an error on my part, but my error is your gain. But if there's nothing else, I have a couple people coming in to help me transport him away.
There's also the matter of the two brothers, or the three brothers.
Brothers?
Yes. Victor was contacting someone from the Eight Rings to... we have some captors on our ship. They are... And I'll kind of explain, the whole situation behind them.
Preston, Victor didn't send her a message about it. Victor talked to Lyra directly.
It was the
doppelganger.
He saw the doppelganger and said it.
Okay, I'm just making sure that there was no
There was like a, hey, I need your help. When he sent it initially, and then when he saw her there, that was the doppelganger. Yeah, gave the rest. Yeah.
Okay. So she listens to the whole thing and she says, I guess we do have ways to hold them.
Because can't really trust the Arcanum anymore.
Especially not with some of their own former members.
Yep. Who watches the Watchmen?
We do. Yes, I can take them.
Thank you. And again, we will do everything in our power to bring Victor back.
And Xander said he wanted to stay back, right?
Xander is going to be their guardian, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Well, good. I'm glad he's leaving. He's beginning to stink.
Fred comes out now. Fred has now joined. I cannot look at you. Actually,
I would prefer that you not speak ill of our friend.
My apologies.
even his voice just gets you right in. Whew. Bolt, I would like to take Bell with us. Is that possible? I'll keep him in the brig. He's teaching me how to pray.
Do you think you can trust him?
No, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Probably not.
Okay, well, do you think that you could handle him if needed?
Most definitely. I think. Probably. I've lost a bit of my confidence. I'll be honest with you. I don't know
come
what's
here. Why don't
happening.
you step into the therapy room? Let's go. Let's divulge that. Well, if you think that is something that you need, I'm okay with it. But
It's just, have you ever prayed before?
Do you two require privacy?
no.
How he said privacy.
Wasn't it just so?
Pretentious, yes.
Fred like half swoons against the couch. She's like, okay, we're good. We're
Right.
Losing control.
I will be speaking with the lodge.
Oh, I thought. Oh. I was.
I'll be outside speaking with the large one that smells of dirt.
I don't know who he's
I'll see you
Helm.
outside.
You met him. Boy, and the one that tends our
Lyrian will
gardens.
just kind of like,
Yeah.
again, he'll stride out and...
Does he smell of dirt? What do I smell of?
Actually, Lyra is going to follow behind Lyrian.
Okay.
And as soon as like you're out of earshot of the two of you discussing whether or not to take Belle, which we'll get back to in just a second here.
Fred, what does Fred smell like?
Oh, that's right. We've moved on from Belle. Sorry. My apologies.
All I was going to say is if Belle tries to betray us,
You can kill him. I'm fine with that. We're not
Those-
friends. If it was Xander, he and I think we're friends.
Zender has been actually quite helpful.
Yes, but he has a giant crush on Madame Talvain. He's trying to get fixed by her. It's a weird thing.
Fixed.
No, not fixed.
That's what I was like.
Unfortunately, that was also where my mind went.
Made whole.
That's a kink that I never knew existed.
Greater restoration.
Ooh.
If there's magic in the world.
That's true.
We're not going there. We're moving on.
Anyway, Bolt, I require Belle to teach me how to pray, and then all the books we possibly have on Zolos, so I can learn more about him.
Very well. I was also planning on attempting to communicate with Zolos.
Perfect. We can learn together. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's more an individual thing. I don't know how praying works.
You can pray in a group, I guess. Depends on the religion.
Yeah. Like, gods of secrets probably don't want you praying together.
Yeah.
He's a god of order, so I feel like there's a right way and a wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
She didn't say amen.
Exactly.
Stamps denied.
Return to sender.
It's a very specific way to pray, and that's why a lot of people are like, Zolos never.
I don't even
returns our
like.
prayer.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah.
knows who he is because
Yeah.
it got too specific and
Finish
nobody
it
would
with
do it. Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, you can go to the earth thing.
So as
What does Fred smell like, though?
She's very worried about this now that he's like commenting on the one who smells
do I
of
have to
dirt.
come up with the smell for your character?
Yes, you do.
All right, let's see.
So
Trying to remember.
I think that the helm the crown that you're wearing, so whatever you smelled like before, you still smell like, but the crown adds a layer of like almost like ozone to it, because like it's an aberrant thing, and
Gosh, that's a horrible smell. I don't like
it is.
ozone smell.
I don't like it either.
Probably before that, Fred probably smelled like weapon oil.
I was gonna say
little bit.
sweat.
Yeah, maybe like
With a hint of like rose because of your
Yeah.
thorny sword.
Weapon oil and rose.
Delicious.
Oil.
rose oil. Yeah,
She smells like a disaster.
yeah. that tracks
Fred
with who
smells
Fred
like
is. Yeah.
chaos.
Yeah. Okay.
What? Tell us in the comments. What do you think Fred smells like? What do you think the whole Wayward Watch? Each
First of
individual
all,
member smells
put a
like?
nose
What do they
emoji like you're
taste
taking
like?
a big whiff.
Don't so they taste like. I'm sorry. That could just go.
Please don't.
In so many wrong ways.
Please don't. Please don't.
Lochlarian smells of mahogany and iron.
Ooh.
It's the own many
Many
leather-bound books.
leather-bound books.
Preston's been reading his romance novels.
So, Lyrian. Which one do you prefer? I call you by
Lyrian.
Lyrian?
Unless if it's somebody
Lyrian.
who he's working with, he
Lyrian.
he will be called Locke. He doesn't particularly like when people use his full name.
His full name. Okay, so Locke, as you step out side, Lyra actually comes around the corner and her hand just full on like pushes you against the wall, like just on the chest, and she goes, "I don't trust you, Locke. I have a nose for these kind of things, And I know what the Baba Yaga likes. I know who she attracts as far as patrons go. So, if you double-cross Victor, and if my soul is not returned to him, there is no hole that you can hide in. Even under the Baba's skirts. I will find you. And the 8 rings will kill you.
Curious. Well, Puppet, little one, friend of Victor, I hear what you are saying, and you do not have to worry. I am loyal to the end to my Lady Baba Yaga. If only there might be something we might be able to find a way, perhaps, to get Victor out of his contract. We might have something to discuss, but otherwise,
that's not.
You have nothing to worry about.
As she pulls away her hand, you actually do feel a little bit of connection in the sense of she's made a deal as well.
You
with the Baba Yaga?
Mm-hmm.
Lyra's one of the other horsemen.
Oh, well, she did speak
so now
privately.
You are also in her employ.
My deal with her is limited and none of your concern. You just get my husband back.
It does start that way. Unfortunately, I don't believe that's how it will end, but I will do my best. I only entreat you to not get in my way.
You have fancy words on that silver tongue. Don't make me remove it.
Oh.
And he'll concede, but he's not backing off or anything.
Yeah.
He'll just
all right. Yeah, and she'll just walk away. Actually, she walks over to the 2 figures that you didn't even notice standing outside the tower, and 2 more members of the Onyx wing ring run in or walk in. Basically, she leads them into the tower, and they are going to gather up the body in like a shift and take it to the teleportation room. And she'll stop before she leaves, and she actually turns around and says, I'm sorry that I can't accompany you. I will do everything that I can for keeping your brothers under lock and key. And please do everything that you can to bring Victor back to me.
We'll do our best.
I know you will. And watch Locke. I have a bad feeling about him.
I will take that under advisement. Thank you.
She turns to go, stops, and then turns back, and she'll walk up and give Bolt a hug.
I will return the hug to her.
And
I'll be kind of surprised at first, and then I'll...
Yeah. And then she'll pull away, and she'll look over at Fred, and then she'll walk over and give Fred a hug.
Fred doesn't know what to do.
I'll go.
Pat.
Yeah. Awkward sibling.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for knowing that reference.
Yep. It's one of the only ones I know from
Gravity Falls.
From Gravity Falls. I need to watch the rest of it. But she'll pull away, and then like the first hug like felt fine, but that one was very much more awkward. She's like, well, good luck, and then she'll turn and walk into the teleportation room.
Well, unless there's anything else, I think we should head out.
But where to? We'll find out next session. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. If you guys don't have inspiration yet, give yourself inspiration. That was absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We hope you had a wonderful time. I hope you're in for the long haul and a good ride, because there's a lot of good stuff coming. Thank you, Preston, for being so amenable to such a unique storyline as well.
You got to play 3 characters today.
Yeah, you got to play fun. Yeah, 3
You got to play
characters.
2. I need to play another character.
Yeah, sorry. I will come up with like half a dozen for you to play.
Yes.
Yeah.
Valerian demands that you comment and subscribe.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Our next session is going to be...
Do it now like a good
Well,
person.
actually, normally we would have a break next week, but our next session is going to be special. Ooh. So you should check that out. And then we'll be back.
When is that coming out?
Yeah, that'll be coming out It'll be coming out Not this week.
It's coming
next week. From when you're watching this, it's coming out next week.
Coming out on the big H word holiday coming up.
The day
So-
before.
Hanukkah!
The
Yeah.
big H word.
Yes, the day
Ooh,
before.
well, we could delay it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk to you another time. So salutations. I said that at the beginning. That's not how you say goodbye.
Say it backwards.
Aloha.
Arrivederci.
Yeah.
Oh, also, let us know in the comments, are you low-key crushing on Lochlyrian like I am too?
A little bit. Like, yeah, he's got that fancy
got
man.
that bad boy.
Yeah.
Gonna
Oh yeah,
kill
you know very much like you're definitely giving off Lestrade vibes. Like it's very much happening. Yeah.
Lestrade.
From Interview with a Vampire.
Lestat.
Lestat?
Yeah.
Lestrade is a mixture of Lestat and Lestrade.
No, Lestrade is from Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, yeah,
He's the bumbling police chief, I think. Giving off a little bit of Lestrade vibes then, but that might be Preston peeking through. But thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Bye.